Hello, welcome to Day 7 of National Poetry Month 2020. I'm Amy Ludwig Vanderwater, and this is my friend, Betsy the Writing Camper. 2020 is my 11th year of writing a poem each day of National Poetry Month. I always write around a different theme. For this year's poetry project, I have decided to introduce surprise. Each April day, I will share a poem's can phrase about writing poetry. I will roll 3 word dice. If a die rolls blank, I will not re-roll it. I will write a poem inspired by 1, 2, or all 3 of the face-up words. Today's Roll the Dice poetry chat is titled Poems Can Rhyme. It is time to roll the dice. I will choose 1, 2, 3 dice, give them a big roll, and we have a blank, dilemma, and there, a wild card, dilemma, and there.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you again. Big high five. It is day 7 of National Poetry Month, and our words for today are wild card. We keep getting these wild cards. I always want a word, but it's sometimes a wild card. Dilemma. And there, T-H-E-R-E. This is the there that means here or there, not the one that's it's their dog or they're our friends. This is T-H-E-R-E, as in here or there. So these are our words for today. And our chat is titled Poems Can Rhyme. And this is true. Poems can rhyme. Oftentimes we read poems that have rhyming words. And the rhyming words can be in different places, but sometimes poems use the technique of rhyme. And so today I have here my notes, and you can see my pages look a little bit different today because I did a lot of the writing here. And since the words were a wild card, which was nothing really except whatever I wanted, dilemma and there, what I've noticed about my own writing is that one word sometimes does really jump out at me. And usually it's the word that has more meat on its bones. And for me this week, it's dilemma. And I did look dilemma up. I've been doing this a lot lately to figure out what are the finer points of the word. And dilemma, I knew was a tough decision. And what's especially interesting about a dilemma is it's a tough decision between 2 choices, neither of which are great. So you can choose this thing, which isn't so good, or the other thing, which also isn't so great. So I was thinking about Little Mouse and a dilemma that she might face. And I guess maybe because of what's going on in my life right now and all of our lives, I imagine that Little Mouse had a dilemma because she wanted something, but she couldn't get it because there was something outside of her little burrow that wasn't so safe. So I just started writing, and sometimes I don't really know where usually, to be totally honest, I have no idea where a poem's going to go. I just follow whatever's going on and listen to whatever's around and kind of see what poem emerges. So here's the draft, and you can see. And there is rhyme in this poem, and I want to talk to you for a minute about the rhyme after. But first, let me read it to you. It's called Dilemma. And I usually don't choose a title for a poem till after, and I didn't even write it on here, but in the typed version, I did put the title Dilemma. There is no more tea in her burrow. The great owl is hooting outside. Little Mouse wants to shop for more tea. Little Mouse wants to stay in and hide. More tea, safety, a dilemma. Little Mouse must choose. She takes off her flowery slippers and snugs into bed for a snooze. So she chooses safety, as I am also doing. And in writing this, sometimes things surprise you. But first, let's talk about rhyme. When I want to rhyme something in my poem, words in my poem, it is very important to me that the rhyme makes sense. So I don't just rhyme any old first word that comes into my head. And I have a couple of things I do that help me rhyme. One thing I do is I often will write the whole alphabet in my notebook. Sorry about this Band-Aid here. I chopped a bit of my finger off yesterday cutting vegetables. So this is the alphabet, and then underneath you can see I wrote a lot of words that rhyme with hide. I have collide, beside, guide, lied, died, tried, pride, slide, wide, abide. And what happens is I just go through the alphabet sometimes, and then I'll say, oh, I want a word that rhymes with hide, bide, does that, shied, died, fried, glide, so hide. And then I look at the words, or sometimes a word just pops in my head, and then I think what ones rhyme and make sense, or what makes sense and also rhyme. So that's very important to me. I did the same thing down here with choose, snooze, lose, blues, who's, confuse, and you can see I have snooze 2 times there. And then I also sometimes will use a paper rhyming dictionary where I'll look up a word like lose, and then I'll see the rhymes for it. Or I use a tool online called Rhyme Zone, where you can type a word in and many rhymes for it will come up. That's a free tool online. It's just Rhyme Zone. And if I also want a synonym, sometimes I'll plug a word into Rhyme Zone and I can get a synonym or a word that means the same thing, or an antonym, an opposite. So that is also another helpful tool. A funny thing in writing this today, just two writing notes to think about. One was, I did not plan this idea of no tea or more tea or safety. That just happened. And sometimes it does happen. I was kind of pleased with that popping into the mind at that time. And then one revision I made was, originally I had written for the last line, and crawls into bed for a snooze. And then I just kept thinking, crawls. I need a more snuggly word for that. And snooze starts with S. And I thought, is there one that does? And snugs into bed for a snooze to me felt like a more cozy choice. So today we have a wild card, any word, dilemma, there, and here or there. And our technique or our chat is about how poems can rhyme. So you may choose to rhyme, you may not, but today that's something to know. Poems can rhyme, they can. So it's wonderful to see you. Take good care. I hope it's as pretty where you are outside as where I am. Maybe open a window a little bit. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Here are my drafting pages for today. On the left, you can see my writing, and on the right, you can see the whole alphabet, and then some lists of rhyming words I thought I might use. Here is Little Mouse, and here is my morning tea for today. It's kind of funny when you write about a fictional character how much of yourself sneaks in. If you choose to write a rhyming poem, don't feel like you need a lot of rhymes. Sometimes only 2 rhymes will really do the job. What matters is that the rhymes make sense. Rhyme Zone online can help with that. Just a reminder, our words for today are a blank or a wild card, dilemma, and there. Blank, dilemma, there. Thinking about rhyming on this 7th day of National Poetry Month, you might see if there are some poems in your house. Read them, see which rhyme, which ones don't. You could even make a list of rhyming words in your notebook. I do that sometimes.